Hi, welcome to Algebra 2, Lesson 1-7, solving system of linear equations using matrices. Let's look at example 5. This is the last example that we're going to learn in this lesson. And this is the application problem. So we're going to apply everything we learned into a real-world problem. Let's apply a linear system with 3 variables into a real-world example. Let's look at example 5. A party planner charges customers based on hours, guests, and tables. A record of the invoices for the last 3 customers is shown. What is the per unit charge for each element? So in this graph, you can see J. Powell's birthday. We have number of hours, 3 hours, right? Guests, 20 guests, and then 4 tables. So total charges would be $370. For E. McMahon's retirement, they rented for 4 hours. There were 35 guests, and they needed 2 tables. Total charges were $560. And then for the wedding, 6 hours, 75 guests, and 16 tables for a total of $1,130. So looking at different variables, different factors, and the total charges, right? We're going to group them into same kind of units, and we're going to write 3 equations. So let's look at the 3 variables. We're gonna let H represent the hourly charge. So this is H. And then G represent the charge per guest. So every guest, we're gonna charge G much, okay? And then T will represent the charge per table. And we know the numbers for each one, but the variables represent the charge, so the dollars. This would be the dollars, okay? So 3 hours times the dollars per hour plus 20 guests times the dollars per guest plus 4 tables times the dollars per table would equal to 370 for Powell, right? Powell's birthday. And then we can write similar equations for retirement and the wedding party. So that would be this set of equations. We can write them into an augmented matrix form, as we have learned, and we can use a calculator to determine reduced row echelon form of the 3x4 matrix. Now, you need to know how to solve this by hand, but if you're already comfortable, feel free to use the calculator. But in the quiz, you'll be able to be tested on how to solve the matrix by hand. So make sure you know how to do it, okay? And then we'll see that x is equal to 50, y is equal to 10, z is equal to 5. But here we know the variables are h, g, and t, right? And we use h as the first column, g as the second column, t as the third column. So just make sure those are appropriate. And you can check your answer by plugging them in and substituting them into each of the equation and see if they all make sense and they're true. Good. But this is not the final answer for your word problem, because of course you can write 50, 10, 5. But what does this mean? We need to be able to interpret what this means in terms of the context. If you have a context, then this is not your final answer. If you have a context, those numbers mean something. So you need to interpret that using what each variables represent. Okay, so H represents the hourly charge. So 50 would be how much you're gonna charge per hour. Okay, so the hourly charge is $50. The charge per guest is $10, and the charge per table is 5. Would be our final solution. Make sure you write in terms of the context. Very important. Okay, let's see if you can do try number 5. Student has $128 in a savings account. If she were to withdraw the money and was only given $1 $5 and $20 bills, how many bills of each denomination would she have? Assume she has a total of 28 bills and she has 3 times as many $1 bills as she does $5 bills. So pause the video and see if you can solve it by yourself and come back when you're ready for answers. Okay, are you ready? All right, so it is a different context, but you can use, it's the same skills that are needed for math. Okay, so you can use the linear systems in order to set up equations, 3 different equations, because you have how many variables? 1, 2, and 3 variables, because that's what you need to figure out, right? How many bills of each denomination, right? So that just means how many $1 bills, how many $5 bills, and how many $20 bills is what you're going to figure out. So those are going to be your variable. So first, you're going to determine what your variables represent. So variable, let's say x, will represent number of $1 bills. And then y would represent number of $5 bills. And then z would represent number of $10 bills. Yeah, sorry, I need to write these notations technically go in front of the numbers. Okay, and then second step, we can set up the equations. So we have all the information we need. What do we have? Student has 128 in a savings account. So that means the number of $1 bills, whatever it is, which is x, times 1 plus number of $5 bills, y, times how much is it worth? $5, right? So 5y. And then 10z would equal to 128 because that's the total worth. Okay, this is not the count of how many bills I have, it's the total worth. So you're going to multiply by 5 for y, 10 for z, and then that's going to be totaled up to 128. Okay, so we took care of this information. And then we're going to assume she has a total of 28 bills. So all the bills together, regardless of how much they're worth, if you add all the numbers up, x plus y plus z, you will have how many bills? 28 bills. That's the number, total number of bills you have. Okay, so x plus y plus z would be 28. So it's really important to know what your variables represent. Otherwise, you're going to be confused how to write your equation. If you know what your variables represent, you can easily represent equations. Okay? So, and we have one more. She has 3 times as many $1 bills as she does $5 bills, right? Does that mean she has more $1 bills or does she have more $5 bills? Which one is more? 3 times as many $1 bills. That means she has more $1 bills, right? She does $5 bills. So whatever $5 bills she has, she's gonna have 3 times as much, right? So your third equation should be x, that's your $1 bill, is equal to 3 times $5 bills, y. There you go. Okay, and then you're gonna put that into augmented matrix. So step 3, augmented matrix would be 1, 1, 1, 28. Oh wait, I switched the row. I'm gonna write 1, 5, 20, 128, and then 1, 1, 1, 28, and then 1, negative 3. This is not in standard form, so you have to change this to standard form. X minus 3y is equal to 0, and then 0 is 0. Okay, and then you solve for reduced row echelon form, and you will get something like 0, 1, 0, 0. You should get 1, 0, 0, 18, 0, 1, 0, 6, 0, 0, 1, 4. And you're not done. And then you have the solution, right? 18, 6, 4. Interpret your solution. What does that mean? Go back to number 1, step 1. X means the number of $1 bills. So 18 is the number of $1 bills, right? So you have 18 ones. And how many $5 bills do you have? 6 $5 bills. And you have 4 $20 bills. Okay? So you can say she has 18 $1 bills, 6 $5 bills, and 4 $20 bills. Good. That was example 5. We'll continue with the next lesson in the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.